few functions. So I have the functions noted here, echo and noecho. So let's talk about noecho first. So whenever we have a function, an input function, and user input function such as getch or getstr, getnstr, through which we can let the user provide character input or string input, the program, whenever there is a key press from the user, it is actually displayed in the terminal. So noecho, what it does is it suppresses that display. So basically, whenever user presses a key, that key press is not shown in the terminal. It doesn't mean that the input is not accepted or something. The input is definitely taken, but it is just not displayed on the terminal. And that behavior, if we call noecho, that behavior is suppressed. So the input is not displayed. But if we want to switch back to the default behavior, we can use the echo function. So let's just demonstrate that. The default behavior is, let me do something like this. So I'll have a while loop where I will take input continuously. So let me take a character so that I can store the character input. So I'll say ch is equal to get ch. So basically I'm taking a user input and it's going through a loop so that I can endlessly take user input, and all I'm gonna say is not equal. So I'm saying is the loop should continue as long as the user doesn't press a new line character, in other words the enter key. So when the user presses enter, the loop will break. So as long as that happens, we can actually print out that character. So I'll say you've pressed %c, because that's a character, right? So we'll actually print what we have in this variable character variable. Okay. Once we print that, we definitely need to refresh because we want to see it in our standard screen, and at the end we can we should have the getch in order to stop for a bit, or maybe we can actually we don't need that. When we press the enter key, the program ends. That's what it's doing here. So let's talk about once again what is happening here. So we have our NCURSES session started. A while loop, the loop will end when the user presses enter. Until then, the user key press will be taken into this character variable, and then that will be displayed in the terminal. Now, what would happen is every time we press a key, the key press will be immediately shown in the terminal, and then this output will be shown, this sentence will be shown. So let's see that. And I think I have already demonstrated this entire process in one of the previous videos, but let's just do it again. So I'll compile 0402 keyboard operation NCURSES. Okay, my executable there. Alright, so first it isn't saying nothing. Now let me do a key press. I'm gonna press P for, let's say, popcorn. There you go. I'm gonna say A. I'm gonna press A. I'm gonna press capital B. I'm gonna press C. So you see, every time we do a key press, we see the character immediately, and then we see our desired output. So now if I press enter, the program terminates. So in order to avoid that behavior of immediately showing the character in the terminal, we can use this function noecho. So as it says, we don't see the echo, right? So let's see what happens now. Let's compile again. Run the executable. P, Y, A, B, capital B. You see, I don't see that immediate I don't see that character immediately printed on the terminal, so it is working. Now if I press enter, the program terminates. So that's what no echo does. We just don't see the echo, and it is sometimes useful. And as I said, that behavior can be changed again by this echo function. So after that, if I call this echo function and I just do this whole loop again, and this time, so what's going to happen here? The first loop will break after we press enter, but it will not show the immediate input. It will just show this sentence. The second time, as we are saying echo, that means the default behavior is restored, and we'll see the same action as long as an enter key is not pressed. But every time we do a key press, we'll see the output, we'll see the user input immediately in the terminal. So let's demonstrate that. Compile, run it. So the first loop will not see the immediate effect. So I'll say Y, V, B, C, D, V again. So as you can see, we don't see the character immediately printed in the terminal. Now I'm gonna press enter. Oh, actually it is coming out of it. Hold on 1 second. Probably I'm doing something wrong. Oh, I didn't save the file. Okay, great. Rookie mistake. All right, let's do it again. I'm gonna press A, B, C. So we don't see that immediate output, immediate printing in the terminal. So now I'm gonna press enter. Okay, I have pressed enter. At this point, we have entered in the second loop. And remember, we have our default functionality or default behavior restored. So I'm gonna press Q. As you can see, I see Q first and then the sentence. I'm gonna press W, I'm gonna press E, and now again enter. So that program terminates. So basically, when we change that echoing behavior via this noecho function, we can restore again the default behavior by this echo function. So these are basically switching functions. All right, so there goes echo and no echo. Let's talk about the next two functions, and these are pretty important ones. So no delay. When we have a delay, or we get a kind of a execution blocking behavior when we use these functions, right? You remember when we first created a program, in our basic program, what we had is this NCURSES start session, finishing session. We added some string, hello world, and then in order to see that in the terminal, we added this user input function. So basically, which sits in the terminal, it blocks the entire execution and waits for a user input so that we can see what happened before in the terminal, right? So if I just run it again, I'm not gonna see anything fancy. Oh yeah, I cannot see it because I made a mistake. I need to call the refresh function. As I said, the refresh function, it brings the input. Oh, probably what's going on. Okay, probably I have not saved it again, or let me recompile, run. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this was our basic function, and this getch is responsible for holding this output there, and right now I'm not pressing any key, so it's just waiting for a key press at this point. The program is sitting on this line, so whenever I press a key, it terminates because it found your input, it finished the NCURSES session, and it returns from the main function, so the program terminates. Now this is a blocking behavior, and this here we have this no delay function where we are basically saying whenever you see these kind of blocking functions, any kind of user input functions such as, let's say, getstr or getnstr, those are also blocking functions, right? They wait for user input. So whenever the compiler sees these kind of functions, it should not wait for an user to provide a key press. That's what this no delay does. So all I'm saying here is we're providing two arguments here. The first one is the window. So the window in our case for now it's standard screen window stdscr we have seen before, and true is basically we are providing a true false a boolean signal saying whether the no delay uh, functionality should be turned on or off. Basically, that's kind of a toggling variable. So as you say, as you can see here, I'm saying execution doesn't wait for user to provide an input if user input function called, such as getch or getnstr. So, okay, all right. So let's see that in action. I'm adding no delay here, and I'm saying the first argument is window, and then I'll turn it on. So all I'm doing is, yes, we are printing something, we're refreshing the window, and then we are saying, hey, do not wait for user to provide an input. Immediately finish it. So should we see any output in the terminal? We would not see any output in the terminal. Actually, let's try running that now. Oh, first I need to save the file. Let's run it now. Let's compile, run it. We didn't see anything. Now, in order to show that it actually did work, I'll add a napms function for, let's say, 1000 milliseconds. So that's 1 second. So the program would stop or halt for a second, and then it will finish automatically, even though I don't provide any input or not. It'll immediately finish. So let's do that. So what will happen here? First, it will print the output in the terminal, and it will wait for 1 second, and then program executes automatically, right? So let me compile it again, run it. We see hello world. After 1 second, it just immediately terminates. See? So basically this no delay is not letting getch to actually wait for an user input. Now if a getch is there and user doesn't provide an input, what happens? This getch, it returns, so let me say it here, getch, it returns a symbolic constant, err, in short for error. So this symbolic constant is defined in the NCURSES header file. So with this, we can actually create programs such as detecting user key press or many types of stuff that we'll see in the future. But let's just demonstrate that. Okay. So we can actually turn on the no delay functionality. So standard screen and then true. We turn on the no delay functionality, and then let's run a loop, and this loop, inside this loop will say, as long as, sorry, I'm typing wrong. Okay, so what I'm saying here is run this loop as long as getch returns error. That means as long as user doesn't press a key, keep running this loop. Okay, so when we have such a loop, let's actually count. Let's have a counter here. Initial value is 0. Let's keep incrementing that counter, okay? And every time we increment it, let's have a message there. So print w seconds. Okay, we'll say %d seconds. Okay, we'll say program running for this many seconds, and yeah, and %d is basically this counter variable here. All right, and now we'll refresh it. Okay, and then we'll wait for what, 100 milliseconds, so that every second, so that the loop runs after every seconds, right? What's wrong here? Oh, there you go. So okay, what happens if we do this? So let's see what is going on. So we're saying, yeah, do not delay for the getch function, and as long as the user doesn't press a key, we should see this message going on saying program running for this many seconds, program running for this many seconds. It will actually populate the entire terminal. Let's actually see that in action. There you go. We see that being populated in the terminal, but this is not an expected output, right? We don't want to see it like that. How do you want to see it? Well, we can add a new line. Let's see how it looks like now. Okay, much better. But what if we could actually show them in just one line? We'll see the increment in just one line. 1, 2, 3, 4 in just one line. We don't want to see multiple lines here. So how can we do that? Now I'm pressing a key, the program terminates immediately, see? So how can we do that? There is a function, actually I should note that here, called clear, and this clears everything in the terminal. So clears the terminal. All text clears the window. Let's call it window, not the terminal. We'll come to window in a later video. So right now we have only one window, which is the standard screen window. So this clear function, it clears all content from the window. So what I'm gonna do is, after we wait for a second, we'll clear the terminal and then we'll refresh so that we can see the clearing effect in the terminal. Okay, so what happens is, right now again we are asking the compiler that, hey, do not delay for this kind of getch functions, and we're running a loop, and every time the loop is running, it is checking whether there is a user input or not. As long as there is no user input, it is incrementing this counter variable, printing it, and then refreshing it, which is so basically it is being printed in the standard screen, waits for a second, clears the input, clears the terminal or clears the window, and then go and run the loop again. So let me see that. Let us show that in action. Oh, sorry, it's the same thing because I didn't save the file. Sorry about that. I've been doing the same mistake again and again. Okay, awesome. You see, this is changing in place. Program running for this many seconds. That's awesome, right? So now I'm doing a key press. The program terminated. It would be nice if we can just say, so when we are done with the task, we should definitely turn off this behavior of no delay, because in future in the future lines we might need these getch functions, these user input functions, and we won't remember that we actually turned it off, and we would be scratching our head thinking why is not working. So it's better to actually turn it off immediately after we don't need it. Okay, so here I'll just say add str. Actually not add str, we should use the print w function because we need to print some variables. So I'll say the user that you have pressed a key after %d seconds, right? And that's a new line, and we'll add a new line here as well. Actually we don't need a new line here. And the seconds variable is our counter. Okay, in order to see that, we need the refresh function, and in order to see this entire thing, we need to have the getch called again. And that's what I was saying, that we need to turn this no delay off, because in later sections we might need the blocking behavior. Right now I need the blocking behavior in order to see this output, so I just turned it off over here. I turned it on, I did my job, I turned it off. Okay, let's see what happens now. Okay, the program is running and it is showing us the second that yeah, it is running for this many seconds, whatever. Now I'm gonna press a key. Okay, I see you've pressed a key after this many seconds. Awesome, right? That's it for today.